Let's not get hung up on how it happened here. That doesn't matter to this. It doesn't matter at all, really. It's another one that just is what it is. So, moving on. Let's say there's now the 3D realm in existence, the whole material creation, pretty vast in its own right, though nothing at all compared to the whole. Now, the material creation is material, of course. That's not us down here, not yet anyway. We are spirits. Souls are something finer than the mud and the clay. You realize that, I'm sure. So now see us line up for our parts in the play that are being handed out, or that is scheduled to go on. We want to join in, to be of service, have some fun, whatever. Keep in mind, too, that the initial creation would still be not completely material. And it would be light, pretty much. Just manifest light. Of course, we would want to go and play there. That's a well duh. Now, I don't purport to really know anything here. We're just supposing, remember? So let's skip over a whole great big bunch of time and long happenings. Let's move far ahead. Beings have, in their exploration of that which is, gone far afield. We're in the material creation now, it looks like. One of the experiences possible was disconnection from light. Well, seeming disconnection. When you are light, you can't disconnect from what you are. Well, as light beings, we knew we couldn't possibly be hurt by anything there in the kingdom of Earth. So we were game to try most anything. Remember, these are parts in a play. It's a matrix, a chimera. It's not really us. So we did. We tried anything. And there were consequences. Two things here, and this may be a long journal. First, when you are quite innocent of any contact with darkness, it can be terribly shocking. From your innocent state, your non-experience with that, you look down at what you propose to enter into, yet you have no way to imagine what can happen down there. It's not possible to you. Do you see? That's a key to how beings can get lost. They just can't envision, can't look ahead when they volunteer for something, what that something will be like, how far afield from their native light consciousness it can take them. So they get lost. Happens all the time, pretty much in a smaller way every time a child is born. But back to the other thing of the two things. Well, I've forgotten it for now, so I'll move on. So now, as we look down on the material creation, let's limit our look to the earth, just for convenience sake. And we see that chaos is abounding there. What a mess, right? Well, from our post as light beings, of course, we want to help. Now, keep in mind that we are millions, or at least hundreds of thousands of years back here. Yes, there was chaos, but of other kinds back then. Beings are very creative in their creation of chaos after all. So we're back in the way long ago. We still have all of our DNA too. Now, as beings of light have volunteered again and again to go down in the chaos and bring light to it, well, that didn't go well for them generally. The same standard mess, different age, different characters, same mess. So, what's a light being to do? They have great compassion, of course. And it's kind of sounding like we don't have all of our DNA here. So, pondering that, here's what I suggest. Some of the greatest, the very highest of the light beings, the ones with the most juice, shall we say, they volunteered to step in. What that means is to retrograde back down into physicality, to bring what they could to the show down below, to bring it back up. Bring it back up into light again. So here's how I see it. They volunteered to come in as the bad guys. Be still a moment with that. I know it's shocking. Just give it a chance. Just be open. Okay, so these great beings of light volunteered to come in as the bad guys. Being so solid, so secure in the power of the light that they are, in their conscious awareness of that, they come up with this method to help force mankind to wake up. Mankind wants to wake up. Maybe this will do it. Please see, my friends, how if all you ever had is endless days of sunshine and light, no challenges at all, you wouldn't progress. You wouldn't grow, you wouldn't learn, and you could go on endlessly that way, but not expand your light by so much. There's nothing like a challenge to spur you on, to spur mankind on, up and out of the mire he gets into. So they came. They incarnated the greatest darkness they could. They played the bad guys to the hilt. They had to do that. And keep in mind that all the players in this drama know they are playing. They know much better than we do today that they are not that. They are beings of spirit, not beings of mind and flesh. So, from this ancient perspective, the killing of flesh is not as bad as what it is to those who completely identify with it, who think they really are that. So, cease the judgment on this. Step up into this higher perspective. And just watch inside of you there. Love is the answer every step of the way. And there's no judgment in love. Love recognizes that all beings are basically doing the best that they can. In all situations, they do their best. They give themselves into the doing of that. Love knows, has compassion, and understands. Let's be one with that love here. And if you hear it in the background, that's puppies snoring. Okay, back to looking at the show from this old ancient angle. Oh, I just typed angel instead of angle. From that typo for angle, which came out angel, one could easily see how these great light beings that came down, they could have been angels. That could be a name and appellation for them. Who knows? Moving on. So the great light beings, knowing that mankind was so terribly mired in the messes they had created and that had been created for them, they had seen light being, sent light being after light being, whole hosts of them, volunteers to go down to bring the light there. Time and time again, it hadn't worked. Light beings are not all that familiar with how the density of 3D operates. They sometimes overestimate their ability to stay connected with the light that they are, so they too get lost. The rescuers are lost. So, Eventually, these greater light beings get together and concoct what light considers is the best way to bring things back around to the light. They go to incarnate the darkest of darkness. Right there before mankind, they will demonstrate this darkness. Surely, oh, surely this will wake them up. This will spur them on to reach once again for the stars that they are, to rise up. So the plan goes forth. The great light ones incarnate. For the greatest of times, they retain and remember their connection as light. But by the nature of what they've come to do, that must diminish. The darkness intrudes between them and